it is. It's a freaking piston. This is a Traxxas T Maxx 3.3. If you've ever had a Nitro, you would know that the T Maxx is one of the most classic names in Nitro RC history. This is basically the same platform as when they first debuted in 1999. And since then, the monster truck ready-to-run segment has pretty much dominated the RC culture. This has a 2-speed, the TRX 3.3 engine. There's no reverse. It is in full stock mode. Everything is good to go. We're gonna test the speed. We're gonna see how well it jumps. I'm telling you right now, I bashed this thing pretty good. Unlike all of my other videos, there's actually sand, dirt, and clay all around this car. So now it's time to have some protein. Done. See that? You don't want to litter. One of the ways that I'm going to be making Nitro great again is I'm going to be making my T Maxx happy. I got it a gift. Can you guys tell what it is? There it is. It's a freaking piston. Now, it's basically like an earring for an RC car. One of the most popular features on the Traxxas T Maxx is the Easy Start system. It features a system with a handheld wand like this with a basic 6-cell NiCad battery inside and a button. I'm gonna put this in a second right here. You guys will see how this starts. If you've never seen it, it's pretty convenient and honestly one of the biggest main attractions on a Traxxas. Not even the T Maxx, but across their entire lineup of Traxxas models. Basically, you have a 2-in-1 combination glow plug and starter motor here. You don't have to have any kind of pull start. You don't need no starter box. You don't even need a separate glow plug igniter. This already has a wire going into the heatsink head right here, and all you do is basically put this on, start it, press this button, boom, it fires right up. So check this out, guys. I'm gonna put this in, press the button. What's cool is this also works with the body on. Right now the body's off just so we can have a nice clean look at the chassis. Here we go. Right now, let's go down to my RC man cave because it's a little bit noisy out here and nothing pisses me off more than bad audio in my RC videos and not being able to bench 315 pounds like I used to when I was in college. I am T Maxx Tony. I am the Ric Flair of RC history. This is my Traxxas T Maxx, and T Maxx Tony doesn't just play around. He loves the T Maxx because it is a game changer.
I dress myself in cashmere. Woo, 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 woo. You keep your mouth shut, I'm gonna come in and slap your face.
Traxxas was founded in 1986 and instantly became a hit with the concept of ready-to-run RCs. This is a Traxxas T Maxx. The original T Maxx debuted in 1999, and since then, it's made Nitro RC ready-to-run trucks extremely popular. This was the age of monster trucks, I would say from about 2000 to 2010. The 1/8 scale HPI Savage soon came out a couple years after this. The associated MGT came out, and pretty much so many different Nitro trucks were still dominating the RC hobby. The T Maxx itself has been out for 20 years since it first came out in 1999, and it is really not that much different than the ones they originally sold. This still has the dual shocks on each arm. The chassis layout is basically similar to what it was. The only differences today are you have a much more powerful TRX 3.3 engine, larger wheels, upgraded suspension components. The chassis is longer and also wider on the modern version as compared to the one that initially was released. There have been a couple models since the initial one. There was one called the Wide Max. This particular one is stock. I do have an original body. This is just a basher body for me. It also comes with this cool piston in the front, right? You gotta dress up your T Maxx just like Ric Flair when he goes out to the ring. You wanna look good, get that attention. The T Maxx had so many innovative features of the time. Let me just recall a couple that to me are important. The Easy Start system, we already saw that. It also had the first reverse ready to run 2-speed transmission. This particular one does not have reverse because they eliminated it in the future editions. They were not the most reliable systems. It was basically a shift on the fly type toggle on your remote back then when you had AM remotes and you would just operate it. The issue was you could have also put it on when the car was still going forward. Later on in the Traxxas Revo, Traxxas designed the OptiDrive unit, which basically was a sensor that would determine whether you were still moving forward. You could only engage reverse with the OptiDrive when you first stopped, and then you engage reverse. So very good system. Mine constantly malfunctioned. I wound up taking the OptiDrive out. Right now we're looking at the chassis. The first thing you notice when you get a T Maxx is the plush suspension. Check this out. Do you see that? I have not done anything to the shocks at all. This is what they used to call, and still do, the Plush Max suspension. It does bottom out pretty easy, but you can install fuel tubing in the shock shaft itself to limit some of the bottoming out. Because yes, this one does bottom out in the jumps, but no big deal. It drives extremely well, and the shocks are smooth and fluid. The chassis, this one has the 4mm thick plate. Now, really all of the action is on the bottom. This is where your reinforcing chassis braces are, all your skid plates. The original T Maxx did not have all this equipment. It had these puny drive shafts. This one has fairly substantial drive shafts equal to the size used in the Revos. The electronics in this model are powered by 4AA batteries, so they run off a 6-volt system, but you do have a optional charge port over here if you want to install a 6-cell hump pack. That's something you can do. I personally don't care about that. I like running AA's. The overall chassis layout for such a, you know, good truck, I would say for an older design, is actually very, very good. This has an adjustable slipper clutch, an adjustable 2-speed transmission where you could adjust the shift points. We're gonna check later to see if it actually shifts. Like I said before, this one does not have reverse. They eliminated it for the newer models. Originally, the third reverse channel would be over here. So we have our steering servo, we have our throttle and brake servo, and a third servo, which operates the reverse, would be right here. There will be extra linkages going into the transmission. We don't have that, and I'm very happy for that. I like the high flow exhaust pipe. It's polished. I like the high flow header right here. There's no weird 90-degree bends like HPI uses in some of their RCs. The cooling head is pretty good and substantial. We have a cooling head protector. Now, Traxxas came out with this years and years ago with the original 2.5, because when you roll these, yeah, your cooling head is gonna be gone. So this not only routes your easy start glow plug wire right over here, but it also protects the cooling head. You can get an RPM upgrade. This one seems fine. And now let's go outside and do some runs. T Maxx Tony is tired of RC history. He needs some nice 2-speed gear shifting action. Check this out. You could even start it with the body on. Here we go, we're about to do a speed run. Man, that was quick. Let's see what we got. The brakes are remarkable. It even wheelies. Look at that, you see that? It even wheelies. Holy shit. Wheelies and flips. Let's see what we got, guys. We got 40 miles an hour. Man, that is not bad at all from basically a stock, extremely rich, old, original Traxxas T Maxx 3.3. Not bad at all. Here we go, Traxxas T Maxx 3.3. Look at that suspension, holy moly, insane, nice looking truck. Mine doesn't have this updated Traxxas stability management system, and I'm okay with that. I don't particularly need it. You could install an aftermarket gyro if you wanted to. The engine, yep, this is the same engine that we have, the Traxxas 3.3 racing engine. I'm not going to read all about it because that's going to take a very long time. We also have this resonator dyno-tuned dual chamber pipe, this really nice large dual stage air filter, the easy start system as you guys just saw. Now, one of the main things that is great about this updated T Maxx is the strengthened bulkheads with steel X braces. These bulkheads and chassis braces constantly used to break on the original T Maxx and E Maxx from what I remember. This model says it has a 30mm extended chassis, I guess to control some of that power output from the TRX 3.3 engine, and we'll see later if it actually does that in terms of handling. It has an upgraded heavy-duty brace and transmission skid plate. So the original T Maxx did not even have a skid plate under the transmission itself. Sealed limited slip differentials to be expected, powerful steering system. I gotta say, I'm pretty content with the steering on this compared to the original T Maxx, which was total crap. The tires, this one has 6.3-inch max-sized tires. I gotta say, I love the tires. We're gonna see how far they can actually balloon later when we engage a 2-speed. This model has the auto shifting 2-speed transmission. So it looks like there is no reverse, which is okay, although the reverse was one of the main features on the original T Maxx, and I really loved it. But you know, half the time basically you just wound up breaking your gears if you're an idiot, which just so you guys know, I never did that. You have a large diameter disc brake. We're going to see how good the disc brake actually is, although the T Maxx always had pretty good stopping power. Heavy duty drivetrain, sealed pivot bowl suspension. So the T Maxx always had pivot bowl suspension. That was normal, easy to tune and adjust. But the drive shafts on the originals were just incredibly terrible. You basically had to upgrade to MIPs right out of the box. You had to spend about $40 to $50 on 3 pairs, the front, the rear, and the mid drive shafts. 4.2-inch ground clearance. There it is, guys. That's all about the ground clearance. When you want a monster truck, that's exactly what you want. And the T Maxx was the first to have like this very usable 10th scale size, insane ground clearance. Oil-filled ultra shocks to be expected. We have an adjustable wheelie bar. Mine actually has this very unique design, the way it slips onto the rear bumper and skid plate. I actually like it. The rest is pretty much obvious to be expected. Customer support. I don't know if you're going to get this guy on the phone. He doesn't look like T Maxx Josh to me. I mean, maybe this is a wig. I'm not sure.